What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the top handmade Japanese lures and why they're so important. So we have wild lures, we have Take Handmade Japan, as well as bullet baits from Japan. So I'm going to go through what Japanese baits I use and why. Now, there are a ton of great JDM lures that are available to you, but handmade lures always elevate it to that next level. And by that, I mean, they could be giving you the edge. They can be presenting things in a different way that just entices that bite, or you're also purchasing a vast amount of knowledge from someone creating these lures and giving you that edge in a competitive field. So by that, I mean the lure maker themselves knowing what it takes to elicit that strike. So let's get started with the first one, wild lures. Wild lures has been around for quite a while, and they just have a vast amount of experience. The lure maker literally has been making lures for about 15 years now. And why that is important is because that means that that 15 years of experience is behind every single bait he creates or he just makes. So this is his Wild Gill Type G, size 80. It's about 21 grams or so without any hardware. And I mean, just look at the color, and I literally cannot wait to use this bait coming up for spring. It's a great bait size. It's great for that mid to upper tackle range. So if you got like a medium heavy or a medium plus type lure, and it just gets you into that handmade JDM atmosphere very well. So right here, talking about technology, the whole top is this high vis green, and that's so that you could see it as it comes back to you. It's easily traceable in murky to clear water, but the side and the bottom are that traditional color that fish might look up to see, or as you're swimming by, fish might see. Also, chartreuse, very good with smallies, but other offerings include the double jointed baits, as well as just the single jointed baits. And this one, for example, is what I use for trout and smallies as well. This comes in at 2.9 grams with all the hardware. Size, I think 16 or 14 hooks. I think they're 16. But as you could see, the single joint is just there. It's easy to manipulate. On BFS gear, it is sick to use. If you don't trust yourself with BFS gear, you can always use spinning tackle that will allow you to throw this. This is his double jointed bait, and this one's sinking. It's the 50 plus, and it is just super easy to use. I use it with my BFS gear again. It's just what I prefer, size 16 hardware hooks. It is just a great bait. And again, you have that handmade component. You have just out of the box ability to throw it, little to no tuning, high vis top. You have that JDM handmade time behind it as well. And the colors are all hand painted, very specific to elicit strikes. This one has a brown trout kind of color to it, but with a little bit of red. So it's very versatile, very easy to throw. I'm probably going to get some crappie strikes on it, as well as, of course, smallies. The next one up is kind of a newer one that I've been ordering. These guys I've been talking with and ordering baits from now for 2+ years. And I'm going to link everything below so that you guys have access to their sites. Drops are very rare. From most rare to least rare, I would say that American drops for bullet baits are the hardest ones to get. They drop very infrequent. And then it goes wild lures. And then finally Take Handmade Japan does the most amount of drops and are available pretty easily statewide. but don't sleep on these guys. Bullet baits just takes kind of more, I would say, like the edgy side of Japanese bait making. Wild colors, they have tag-like uh, components to it, but again, high quality JDM materials used. When you throw it, wings tuck. When it lands, they easily open. I've already lost one of these baits, unfortunately, to my stupidity and overcasting and ending up across the river on a tree. So there's a really expensive JDM lure somewhere in the Michigan area stuck on a tree. So that's become a really expensive tree. Regardless, what got me onto them originally was I came across this. This is a vibration bait. It's completely silent. This one has trebles, but what I like to do, kind of like with that TN38, is dual hook on the bottom, treble on the back, size 10 dual Ryugi hooks. The other thing you're getting with handmade JDM baits is the fact that they will include very high-end components. These all come standard with Ryugi treble hooks or dual hooks, depending on what they're offering that time. Again, their little crown stamp, super sick, very relevant, kind of a little bit more edgy, like I said. But what I like about this bait is the fact that they thought about how it was going to present on the bottom. And so with this presentation, the lip, I don't know if you can see it, is very flat and angular. And so it actually makes the presentation on the bottom look more like a fish feeding. And so that presentation will then elicit a strike in a certain way. Also, because the hooks tuck in like so, when it lands, it also reduces the chances of you snagging on the bottom, which is always a welcome thing. But the color, this young gill, is so sick. And again, custom painted, attention to detail, small batches. I mean, this is one way to elevate your fishing game. This is about 10 grams. I think it's 7 something, almost 10. But regardless, easy on like a medium plus setup or a heavier rated BFS rod. No problem with this. I've caught plenty of smallies on it. No complaints. This is that young gill color. Bullet Baits Japan. Keep an eye out for them. They are doing sick stuff. And I mean, in an anime way, it makes me kind of feel cooler. It's got that little crown. Their baits got that little graffiti look. So if you want kind of to go after that toxic bait look from the US, you can do it JDM style. And kind of have that cool JDM edge to it. Last but not least, take Handmade Japan. I have been ordering baits from him for 3 years now. He is a bait maker that has been making baits for about 8 years now. And I mean, he is just amazing. He uses wood, Japanese cypress, like I've mentioned in my previous video, but his baits are otherworldly. I mean, if you can get your hands on these baits, like keep them, hoard them, and don't get rid of them because they are just gonna catch you a ton of fish. So the presentation is always sick. They come in these little black boxes, whatever bait you order. These are micro swim baits that I ordered. I'm going to show you a bigger brothered version of them. This is another bait. He originally told me that he started by making vibration baits. So he made a custom one for me in a purple color that I'm really excited to use. That one's about 10 grams. But what I love most about what he makes are these little tiny custom swim baits. These are just really great. I don't want to get them out of the package, so I'm going to show you their big brother. This is the 21 gram version, and it is just sick. I mean, again, custom color, special tail material, Ryugi hooks, and that take Japan. So rather than having the whole top be high vis, his logo is usually what's high vis on the top. And so that is what you're going to be able to see through the water as you retrieve it back to yourself. This is a fast sinking bait. He makes floating, suspending, sinking. So just look at the description before you buy. And again, I prefer floating just so that I can customize it. He leaves a lot of real estate for you to customize the weight so that you can adjust the sink rate. This was a custom situation and I wanted a sinking one just to try it out. Again, you're going to see some videos about me fishing this. Something that you get with custom JDM baits is that elevation of ingenuity. And so if you have been with Take Handmade Japan for a while now, you'll notice that he has changed the bait material for the tail. And so that's also what you get with him, progress. He experiments with different material so that you can get the best action and the most realistic action. This is kind of this see-through material that has a little bit of glitter and pearlescent in the center. And so you get this shine coming out of the tail that on his older baits you don't get. So that is something to note, is the progression of baits being consistently and constantly improved. The other bait that I have from Take Handmade Japan, as well as a micro crank. This is about 5 grams. And then the one that I showed on the last video was this jerk bait that I'm going to customize to suspend. But rat baits are always popular. And he has a power rat that he's been releasing lately if you have already seen and been following him. But this is kind of on the micro end of rat baits. So it's a little bit tinier. It's only about 10 grams or so. And you just like, look at that. It's going to get so much action as it wakes. And so specifically in the morning in my waters, I am super, super stoked to use this rat bait. Comes with a sturdy tail so that it's not one of those soft lures and those smallies rip them or the pikes kind of shred them. But again, sick bait, handmade quality, hand painted, and then that Take Handmade Japan logo on the top. Look at that. So that you can be able to see it in clear water or a little bit stained, but just makes sick noise. Hardware, Ryugi, they never sleep on quality. So just to summarize it, we have Take Handmade Japan, custom swim baits, crankbaits, rats. Like if you just monitor his site, you are going to see a ton of different baits. So just make sure that you are constantly following them and keeping up with the stuff that they're coming out with. It's not just swim baits. It's not just specific baits that they niche themselves in. They're always trying to create and kind of give us that edge in fishing. Also, don't sleep on wild lures. Again, swim bait focused. So this is the 50. He goes all the way up to 230 size. This is his type 80G for gill. It is a sick little swim bait. Can't wait to use it. Super light, 21 grams. I'm going to throw it on my medium plus rod just to give it a little bit of a bend. I'm going to put quality hardware on here. Probably Varivis split rings and then some Ryugi hooks. So yeah, check them out. And then lastly, Bullet Baits Japan. I mean, these colors are just so sick. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, drop them off in the comment below. If you want to see anything specific, or if you guys have any suggestions for this video going forward, anything I should be doing, trying, please drop them off in the comments. And if you want to follow them, I'll include their social and their website page so that whoever wants to kind of just follow drops and try to get their hands on these JDM baits, like you guys can follow their progress. They're always posting on their social, usually a week or so in advance when they're going to do a drop. So you guys can tune in for those. More handmade baits coming. And again, more content coming. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one.